Des of Peg and Des on couples therapy. Peg is on vacation, being young, fly, and free. I'm holding the fort down, and we need to get started. A lot happened this episode, specifically pertaining to our girl Liz. So before we actually get to Liz's madness, let's talk about Chingy and Temple, because they opened the episode. Once again, Chingy and Temple are having a conversation about moving in. However, I feel like Temple's request to have Chingy move into her house is only a surface level request for a deeper, underlying, real request, like put some jewelry on this finger. I don't believe that after 5 years and all this back and forth that this girl really just wants this man to move into the house. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me, especially considering every time they have a conversation about it, or not even just conversations about it. Anytime I catch Temple looking at Chingy, she just looks like she's upset about something. It's this passive aggressive, I've got something to say, but I don't quite want to say it because I'm afraid that if I don't tiptoe enough, it'll create a problem. I'm just waiting on her to finally open up and say what it is that she wants from this relationship. And Temple, keep in mind, we don't have too many more episodes left. You really need to, hop to it. Time's a wasting, young lady. Now, when Chingy and Temple are having a conversation about moving in, Chingy goes and gets the house second counselor, Dr. Joe Francis. For some reason, Joe feels like he is at couples therapy to enlighten the lives of others, not necessarily his own. He grabs Temple, has a seat with her, and does what he feels is a resolution of their move-in issue. Then we see Joe Francis in the group session asking Flav several questions about what's going on between Flav and Liz. Because remember, the group session was all about what are your fears in your relationship. Everybody went around the room, shared their fears, but Flav said that he had none. Then Chingy said to Flav, wait a minute, how do you not have any fears considering every 5 minutes Liz is threatening to leave you? Which is true. She stays packing up a bag in the world's whiniest voice and pretending to head out the front door to some phantom cab that's waiting for her in the driveway. So Flav openly admits that he is afraid that she'll leave him. But then he says, but there are other larger underlying issues in the relationship. Doom, 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 doom. So I'm waiting at that point for him to reveal what they are. But he doesn't. He says that they'll come out soon enough, which makes me think that they are very good and very juicy. So Dr. Jen cosigns, says yes, there's a lot of drama for your mama in the Flav and Liz relationship. So group kind of ends with that hanging in the air. Then our girl Liz asks for a pregnancy test. Okay, let's just start here. Liz is visibly pregnant. I mean, when I'm looking at her in this episode, she clearly has what can be defined as a baby bump. Not fried chicken belly, not too much Hennessy on a Saturday belly, not period bloated belly. It is, I am with child, humans will come from me belly. And for her to say that she did not know and needed a pregnancy test was pretty ridiculous to me. But she gets this pregnancy test, takes the test, discovers she's pregnant, and then calls Caitlin of all people. And of course, Caitlin, the old girl from 16 and Pregnant, said that she recognized that Liz was pregnant. I thought to myself, of course you recognize that Liz was pregnant. You know a whole lot about being pregnant. 16 and Pregnant girl. So Liz tells Caitlin that she's pregnant and then proceeds to engage in some of the strangest behavior I have seen in my life. Except not. That behavior is clearly indicative of someone who's been on heroin. It's that heroin lean. Liz is sitting on the bed. The camera is watching her in the room and she is nodding off. Camera's just looking at her, nodding off. She has items in her hand. They fall on the bed. She has no control over her bodily functions. Her shoulders are slumped. She just looks a mess. There's a little drool coming out of the side of her mouth. It is intervention 10.0. Dr. Jen pops on the camera talking about, we think Liz fainted. I'm sure she did after she lit her pipe. That is clearly druggy behavior. Now, I'm not saying that Liz is on drugs. I'm just saying that Liz is on drugs. I mean, it is clear. I can't, for all the episodes of The Wire that I have watched, all 5 or 6 seasons of that show, I am a professional at identifying druggish behavior. As my good friend Judge Mathis loves to say, I recognize your crackish ways. So when I saw Liz slumped over, I knew there was something wrong with her, like heroin. So, of course, she has to be checked out by the doctor. Dr. Jin brings in a medical doctor. Medical doctor's talking to her. She demonstrates yet another set of symptoms of people who are on drugs. Combativeness for no reason. Doctor's asking simple questions. You all right, Liz? I'm fine, I'm fine. Why would anybody think that there's anything wrong with me other than me being on heroin? And it just goes on and on like that. Doctor decides to call the ambulance. At first, Liz seems like she's okay with it. Then all hell breaks loose. Somehow, the paramedics come into the house. They look like they're escorting her out. Liz gets a crackhead run on, runs up the back of the stairs, into the bedroom, runs into the closet, shuts the door, and then the paramedics, boom, bust through the door looking for her. First of all, I didn't even know the paramedics got down like that. But I guess if you're pregnant, there's 2 lives to protect. So paramedics / police bust through the door, open the closet door where Liz is, and I don't know if you noticed this, but she is playing under some sort of mattress. It looked like a mattress or a covering, some sort of blanket. Not quite sure what that was, but she was busy as a worker bee over there in that little corner, hiding her heroin. I firmly believe that that's what Liz was in that closet doing. She was in that closet like Neil Patrick Harris. So Liz, Flav, off to the hospital. Can't tell what's gonna happen next, other than we know Liz is pregnant. We know Liz has some fainting issues, and the house looks like it goes up in flames next week. You see Joe Francis tell Flav that he has a hygiene problem, that Flav doesn't bathe. Confirming my suspicions after all these years, by the way. Just an FYI. But I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next week between the 2 of them. At this point, the rest of the storylines are just not all that exciting to me. I mean, after Heather and Dustin worked through Porn Live 2013, after Chingy and Temple and the move-in, I mean, we talked about it, but it's still not all that exciting. Joe Francis and Abby and the Goblets of Vomit. This show really at this point is all about Flav and heroin Liz and the poor, poor mulatto fetus inside of her belly. So I can't wait to see what happens next week. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel, that you follow us on Twitter at @PegandDez, and you catch other videos on Princesses Long Island, Love and Hip Hop, and Mistresses. Goodbye.